Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news! Somebody give me that breaking news! Dun, 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 whatever. Exactly.
Bulletin.
Exactly. What's up, everybody? Michael here and SMT coming at you in Outside the Cage, a breaking edition. This was just announced a little under an hour ago. It has been confirmed UFC 249 is still pulling through in a still undisclosed location, but the main fight has been confirmed. By now, you probably have all heard about it. Ferguson versus Gaethje. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. So as you know, this is the only topic we're going to cover, and that's it. It's only going to be a short episode, guys. We're not going to stay here for no more than 20, 15 minutes. So this is how we're going to do it. Because this is a last minute thing, and I pulled Sam from the shower. Sorry about this, man. But it was breaking news. I had to get you on. I was like, we got to talk this. I thank you for taking the time to come back on, as always.
All good, bro. It's all good.
But this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to give our initial reactions, as every person does. But what we're going to do is after our reactions, we're going to talk of some positives of this matchup, some negatives of this matchup, and then who's going to win the fight. So what are some negative things about this fight that is good? Or sorry, what negative things are bad about this fight? What are some positive things that could come out of the fight? And who we think are going to win? And then if there's any other information about 249's card that has been released while we're talking, I will refresh the browser to check. But enough talking, let's get right to it. So UFC 249, the main event, Ferguson versus Gaethje, interim lightweight champion. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna start this one. So I'm not mad at this matchup. Also, I gave the tweet a like because I mean, come on, it's UFC 249 card, but still, I'm not mad at this matchup. If anything, I think it's a good matchup because that's kind of one of those dream fights. But I have an issue, and I think you could agree with this. I just don't like the timing. And I think this is a very, very risky fight. We talked about it in our previous episode of the possibilities of what happens if this fight gets scheduled. But I'm a little bit disappointed. Like you said in your tweet when you tweeted me, your response was right here when I tagged you. I was the first person I thought of. I was like, yeah, I gotta get him in. So then you wrote, I'm surprised, sort of, disappointed. So I wanted to ask you because I was curious, how are you sort of surprised?
I don't know, man. There was a part of me that was thinking, I don't know. I didn't think Tony would take a fight, honestly. I thought it was going to be, I mean, look, that's about as close as you can get in rankings without a far drop off because, look, the only way Tony was taking this fight was going to be if it was for an interim title. There was just something about that, you know, putting that on the line. If it was just Ferguson versus Gaethje, no interim title on the line, I don't think Ferguson takes it. Because what's going to happen now is this sets up the fight between him and Khabib post-Ramadan, end of summer-ish kind of deal, right? So that was the deal breaker. That was the icing on the cake. That got the deal done. Gaethje will oblige. This dude is a monster. He'll fight a grizzly bear in a cage. He'll fight a lion inside of a telephone booth. Dude is fantastic. I love Justin Gaethje. He's a brawler. You know, he's not very technical per se. But, dude, he's one of my favorite fighters. El Kakui is one of my favorite fighters, too. Gaethje has everything to gain. If this dude wins and takes the interim title, he instantly fights the unification bout with Khabib.
Agreed, 100%.
Which is insane because it's the Tony versus Khabib fight that we need.
So that's where we're going to get right into it.
Dude,
so,
it gets complicated, bro.
So now we're going to try to sort this out. So let's talk about the negatives of this matchup. So my first negative, I'm going to put it out there. My first negative is really just this whole matchup for the interim lightweight championship. Because it kind of confirms to all of us that Tony never lost it. Tony was stripped of it because of injury, but this proves he never lost the interim. The fact that they're bringing in an interim title for a fighter who's clearly ready to go, but they're going to use this whole Ramadan crap and couldn't wait till September to book this fight to give it a reason to put an interim belt. I think that's complete bullshit.
Let's be honest. It's the viral thing. You know, that's the situation right now that really screwed Khabib and the Russia thing. And then what happens is you know, it's the second part is the fact that he's not going to be training for an entire month. So even if they wanted to schedule it in May, they're not going to.
No, I understand that. I'm fine with that. I'm willing to be honest and be upfront. Like, I'm willing to wait. I think September, October, maybe even November, because it'll give him a little bit more time to train after Ramadan. I don't understand what the rush was to kind of put, like, what was the reason for this interim? I just don't like the idea. I get the marketing, I get the build, I get its unification, but now it leads into my second. But now it leads into
a Dana thing, Michael. I think it's a Dana thing, bro.
And yeah, you gotta admit it. It is a Dana thing, but that leads into my second negative of this fight. If Gaethje wins, because if this is what I'm talking about, and this is what I don't understand why so many people are commenting. Oh, I'm so happy for this fight. This is amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, but
it complicates the landscape,
Not even that. Just kiss the Khabib and Tony fight out the window for a while, because what's gonna happen is I said if Tony doesn't win this fight, there is no Khabib and Ferguson fight there, unless of course maybe down the road. Now, do I believe they're going to fight? Yes, because he does say for legacy he has to beat Tony Ferguson. But imagine how bad that's going to look that Tony Ferguson lost to Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight title, was in a position on a 13-fight win streak, had the momentum riding just like Khabib, undefeated, everything going, all the momentum, everything built up for this fight, all to be coming down. He loses to Gaethje, and then everyone's going to turn around and shift their attention and go, oh, well, he lost to Justin Gaethje in the division. So they're going to twist the story, and that's why I think that's my negative with this, is because Tony has more at risk here than to gain. And Gaethje, though, and honestly, if Gaethje wins this fight, which there's a strong possibility he could win this, but if he wins this, kiss any hope of any buildup of hype for that fight, not as much as it had before. In my opinion.
Let me show you how complicated this gets. In the perfect world, Tony wins. Then they unify the interim with the actual title, right? So that's like the best case scenario if you want to keep things simple. If Gaethje wins, he's instantly the interim title holder. The fight to make is him versus Khabib, because you have to unify the bouts. Tony's on the sideline. Let's say Khabib beats Gaethje, then you get the Tony and Khabib fight, which could be a year from now, right? That's one scenario. Let's say Gaethje wins. He gets the fight with Khabib. Somehow, some way, Gaethje wins. Now what do you have?
Nothing.
You're going to have nothing. Tony and Khabib fighting to fight Gaethje again? Well, like this, bro, but I'm telling you, bro, this is a Dana thing. This is a Dana special. He's getting these interim titles around like it's hotcakes. So that way he creates these unification bouts with tons on the line for these pay-per-views. And the UFC is devastated by missing the last event, right? And they're missing the 15th, this one they ended up salvaging. And from what I'm hearing in terms of location, they're talking about the West Coast.
I heard of that. They haven't confirmed anything.
Yeah, so we speculation and stuff, it's fun, but we don't have concrete on that. But, bro, if Gaethje wins, this becomes a can of worms. If Tony wins, then it's fantastic for the way that it was supposed to play out. But I'm telling you, you mentioned it. You said Gaethje is a strong possibility he could win. Absolutely, bro. Tony's a fun, exciting, unorthodox fighter. Gaethje he's like a honey badger. I don't know how familiar you are with the honey badger.
I know about the honey badgers.
Yeah. They go into these like honeybee nests, and then they get stung by like a million bees, and they just go about their business eating all the honey. They don't even care. Or they go chasing poisonous snakes. They get stuck. They get hit by the venom. They take a nap. They wake up and finish eating the snake. That's Gaethje in a nutshell. He's a honey badger. So that's no walk in the park. Tony's taking a lot of risk, bro.
Yeah,
and honestly, man, it's going to be complicated if Gaethje somehow finds a way to win.
And that's the last negative that I have, and then you can list some positives. Should you see any positives?
I think the best positive, Mike, is the fact that we have a fight on the 18th.
That's the first positive. Yes, we do have a fight on the 18th. Now, while I am a little bit worried for Tony, I am actually excited in a way, because this is kind of like a dream match. You've always talked about Justin Gaethje, how much of a beast, a dominator he is. Justin's a young, I wouldn't say he's young, but like he's one of those guys that has the mobility, kind of the, how do I say, the athletics kind of side. If you get where I'm going, I'm trying to. It's hard to kind of explain because I don't know. I don't have the right words.
He's an explosive fighter. He'll throw flying knees. He will throw bombs. He's very entertaining. He's spontaneous. He'll brawl. Yeah, I mean, he's a fun fighter, man.
But also on the other hand, like you said, El Kukui, unorthodox. Very creative when he's on his back, and he's just.
I don't think anybody's on their back in this fight.
I don't think so. There's going to be blood shedding. Blood. We said blood was going to shed with Habib.
Sure.
I think blood is going to shed in this fight.
Yeah.
Easily, blood's going to shed.
I think more blood because both of them will be bleeding, as opposed to possibly Habib doing all the damage to Tony.
Oh no, Gaethje is one hell of a puncher. He punches definitely harder than Habib. But
Habib's going to deliver 1,000 blows on the ground.
Oh hell yeah. But it's interesting to see how this could go. That's the second positive, is the what if scenario. And I think even though it does seep into the negative, it adds a little bit of positive because you could have so much potential for either fighter, most notably Gaethje, because Gaethje really has more to kind of benefit from this, like we keep saying. And the next positive that I have with this is now that you have your main event and we know there's a fight happening, the rest of the card has to be built because it seems like they haven't announced the rest of the card because I don't know exactly what they're going to put on. I don't know if there could be any prelims or not, but there's a word out on the street that the next main fight to be announced, and I'm going to pull it up here, was actually a canceled fight. They canceled it, but it looks like, and it goes back to what we said. So if you remember, there was supposed to be a UFC on ESPN. It was supposed to.
I forget the date. Yeah, there was something there.
There was supposed to be a UFC on ESPN. I'm trying to find it. It was Francis Ngannou.
Yes. They were trying to salvage that fight. Yeah.
Well, the word on the street is apparently Dana is in talks to bring that main fight over to this card.
Oh, so, to create a full
card. So this could be a positive because what Dana could do with 249 is kind of fill up the gap by using this venue to put on the cards that he had to cancel, grab maybe some of the headliners or maybe make up some matchups. Because this is the only one we know of right now. And this fight is 12 days away. And keep in mind, it is happening. We don't know the location. And I think it's smart that they didn't say an exact location because then it would have spread false reports, false advertising, everything. So I'm just happy that we're having this fight. But just imagine the possibility if they were able to work out other types of fights. Like, for example, we don't even know if the Tyron Woodley-Colby Covington fight is good to go. Tyron Woodley has agreed. We don't know about Colby Covington. You could also have, let's just throw out a possibility. You could probably throw in, that's actually a good question. What else could you throw in there? What would you say? Because I know there were a bunch of fighters that were trying to come out and throw their hats into the ring. Even Mickey Gall, of all people.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Mickey Gall myself, but
you know what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of possibility here. And
I don't know. There's guys coming off suspensions right now. There's guys that probably haven't fought in 5 to 6 months that would be willing to get on a card. I think you want to schedule fighters that would probably want to get on again by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
So guys that typically fight 3, maybe 4 times a year. So I don't know. Maybe you want a little. I just don't know at what division, in which weight division do you want to focus your efforts, because you may be building towards something within a division. Like this one has a very busy division.
Yeah.
Like at the top, it's very top heavy. If you look at 170, it's similar. You have Usman, you have Covington, you have Woodley. They all kind of are in the mix there. You may want to sort things out there. So if you bring that fight to the table, I don't know, Queefington and Tyquil Woodley, whatever the case may be, I think you set up those 2 divisions in the next couple of months. So that way you could sort it all out by the end of the year and you get yourself a New Year's Eve card, a New Year's card that's pretty phenomenal, because you've got to set up 2 cards that really feature those two divisions because they're big time divisions in the UFC. I mean, light heavyweight's important, but John Jones is an idiot.
Yeah.
So what are you supposed to do in that division? That one's held hostage. When you look at 185, it's Israel Adesanya's, and you want to bring out all those top ranked guys
Paul
to fight
Acosta.
Right, you got to make that fight probably before the year's done. I think you probably want to do that the end of the summer, actually.
Actually, that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, you could even do it during International Fight Week in July if you can.
You got the Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman.
Masvidal has to fight. Masvidal has to fight. He's got name recognition now. He's got buzz. You don't let that wave die.
No, you do not let that wave. So there's a lot of possibility here, not just for this card, but for the future going forward. I think the Gaethje and Tony fight gives some hope to like what could come later on. Because keep in mind, there were other fight nights and stuff scheduled to happen. We were supposed to have Anthony Smith against Glover Teixeira. I don't know if you remember that.
Glover's he's a journeyman, man. Like, I mean, he's not like a legit title contender. But he's a wily vet, they put him in there. He's kind of like a gatekeeper for the division.
Anthony Smith, on the other hand, what do you think of him?
Man, he got it handed to him from Jones, man.
Yeah, well, Jones is an idiot. But think of it also. You got 250 coming up after this in May with Cejudo and Aldo, Amanda Nunes. So you've got a lot.
I like the Nunes fight. I do like that.
Yeah.
Anytime she fites, count me in, bro.
Oh, absolutely. Nunes is one of the best female fighters in the game right now.
She's one of the greatest fighters ever, period, bro.
Period. You agree?
I'm not joking, man.
No, you're not wrong.
She throws bombs, bro. It is crazy.
So yeah, I agree. I'm not disagreeing there. She punches like a man. That's how hard she punches.
They say that about her in the gym, when she trains with her partners and stuff.
I heard, yeah.
She's a phenomenal fighter, bro. She's fantastic.
So there's a lot of stuff to be excited for, and the 249. While there are a lot of risks involved with the Gaethje and Ferguson fight, it does give you some hope, and it does kind of give you something to look forward to. And I'm excited, even with the negatives. For me, I don't like how Dana White spins this because if it backfires, because I think this is his mindset. This is what I'm thinking. Dana White is thinking. He thinks, all right, I got a location, I got a venue. I'm gonna put on this interim fight. I know he's probably thinking to himself, I know Tony's gonna beat Gaethje. But what happens if he doesn't?
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. That the first part, I think it's more about. I think he wants to be seen as a hero.
Yeah, because there's nothing on.
I think Dana White wants to be the first sport back in action. Because WWE is not a sport. There's no competition.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
they held WrestleMania and it did pretty well on the ratings. I heard it did pretty well.
Yeah, it's an athletic entertainment.
It's more of an entertainment. Yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't call it a competition because everything's kind of like predetermined
staged.
or whatever.
It's staged. It's all staged.
But like for him to want to be that first competitive sport back in action, that's it. He wants to do it. And Dana White's he's a lot of things, man. But I will say like he's about that action. He wants to make things happen. He doesn't really care about the repercussions. He's got this demeanor about him that's very mafia-ish. Mm-hmm. Like where he's gonna kind of coerce and force his way in. So
he's from Boston, so
yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that he'll get this card right. I don't doubt in the execution. I think it's gonna happen just fine. It's just man,
can he pull it off?
He's gonna be busy, and he's gonna be busy through the summer. Trying to, arrange these cards and find ways to make it work. If this card turns out successful, then a lot of people will be believing in him and what he does the rest of the year.
And look at all the comments. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Bro, Habib ducks nobody, bro.
Habib doesn't.
These people are insane, man.
I swear. And look at this. Conor McGregor one sitting on the back of a fence. He's like, thank God. No, there was one more. Oh, this one. If you could fly out of Russia, will you fly? Yep. Can private flight leave Russia? Yep. So you can fight April 18th against Tony. That makes sense to me. Here's your plane ticket. I'm not fighting. Ah, Jesus. These people really do not understand this crap. Oh, my God. But there was one here. I don't know where it went. There was one where they were saying Dana White is like Thanos, at the end of Infinity War after pulling off this card. He's like Thanos just sitting down and just like...
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they come up with funny things, man. They really do.
So now we get to the last part, and then we're gonna end it here. Who do we predict for the winner? Now, just like every prediction, we got to break it down. So we're going to do this fast. This is only one fight. I'm not as enthusiastic about this one as I was for Khabib, but eventually I probably will be. But I will say, when it comes to skills, hands down, Tony's taking skills, skill-wise. But power-wise, I'm giving the edge to Gaethje. Because Gaethje, like you said, he's a G. As soon as he lands that clean shot, that's a perfect power shot. Boom. But on a technical level, if Tony can use some of his wrestling, like let's say he does get rocked, because Tony can take a punch and come back from a beating. And he has good cardio. We know all this stuff.
Yeah, right.
So the question is, how many shots can he take from Gaethje that are some high-level shots and try to come back from that and figure out a way either to get the fight on the ground or standing? Because when Tony punches, let's not forget, Tony may not be the most powerful puncher, but he is the most high-volume puncher that can cut you up. If you see most of his fights, Anthony Pettis, I keep going back, but if you keep seeing his fights, he throws a lot of high-volume strikes, and those are the strikes that bust everybody up, makes them look like they're in a freight train. Even those nice elbow shots, the elbow shots are really where they're at.
Tony's got he's got the bows, like you said. He also has volume and pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he likes to throw a lot.
But on the other hand, Gaethje, while he has taken some tough shots from Dustin Poirier and may not have came out the outcome, he was still swinging even after getting rocked. So Gaethje could take some punishment, but it depends on how well, in this case with Tony Ferguson. I think he could take a few shots from Tony, especially since both of them are different in each area. So it really comes down to who's going to capitalize in the moment. So I'm a little split because, again, this is a last-minute fight. This is a 2 weeks fight. You really kind of don't have enough time to digest kind of the facts. But I'm going to say this. I really want Tony to win this fight so it can set up the Khabib fight, unified, get it over with, and then move on. Then you can have Gaethje fight Khabib. But with that said, though, Gaethje really is something you should not sleep on. So I'm going to say for the first time ever, because I'm having such a hard time picking who I want to win because of this short-term notice, I'm going to have to say the jury's out until I decide to update and then pick who I want to win. But from right now, because of just how a what if and just how much possibilities there could be in this matchup compared to the Khabib fight, because Khabib, you know his gameplay, you know everything, I think the jury's out for me. But I will say, when I do pick who I want to win, I will leave it in the comment of this video, and I will pin it, and I will leave it there, win or lose, regardless. Go ahead.
I'm going to take Gaethje for the win.
Ooh.
I'm going to take Gaethje because I don't want it to be easy for Dana. I don't want things to happen as they should. I want him to learn a lesson. I want him to understand you can't be playing around with interim titles. So I want it to get messy. I want Pandora's box to be wide open. I want the can of worms just spilling. I want it horrible and awful. And I hope this gets so complicated and so messy that Dana wants to pull out the last remaining 17 hair follicles on the back of his neck. and that's it, bro. I'm done trying to get the Khabib and Tony fight. I'm done trying to get things right at 155. Get nasty, get messy, get unpredictable, get crazy, wacky. Let's just roll with that because that's the way we just, you know, they say roll with the punches. Literally, we'll roll with the punches and see what happens. And I also think like Gaethje's the type of dude, bro. He can land the upset. I can tell you right now, if Ferguson isn't a minus 250 favorite, he might be a minus 275 favorite.
Actually, the odds are out right now. I pulled them out for you.
Yeah, I think Ferguson. I'll take the upset, especially with the odds. I would bet that Gaethje's probably like a plus 190.
Let me pull up the odds for you right now. You know what? You do raise a lot of fair points in that, and it's kind of actually interesting to hear them.
He has nothing to lose, bro. The fight's in, what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. No, but what you said about Dana White learning a lesson, I like that. I like when you said that. I like how you just said that because you're
Ultimately,
right.
I don't think he cares, but I mean, I'd like it to be hard on him, you know?
You know what it is? If Gaethje wins this fight, because again, there are big possibilities he could win this because of just how strong he is. But if Gaethje actually does win this, imagine how much hype Dana has set up for the Khabib and Ferguson fight. Just imagine how much of that hype dies if he loses. Now, not saying if Ferguson loses, but I'm saying if Gaethje wins and somehow beats Khabib. That's if he beats
Right.
Khabib.
Right.
But if
The big if.
but let's say let me give a scenario. So let's say Gaethje wins this fight, wins the interim title, fights Khabib, loses, then you go back to Tony Ferguson. That would be Dana's kind of way of smoothing things out. But
Right.
if Gaethje does pull up the upset and actually does manage to beat Khabib, because everyone has been saying Gaethje is the one that could beat everyone. Everyone says before, oh, Conor was the one to win. No, now it's Dustin. No, now it's Tony. But for a long time, I've been seeing people in the comment sections of everything say, don't sleep on Gaethje. Don't sleep on Gaethje. Gaethje has been the one fighter that everybody has been putting since the Conor McGregor fight against Conor. You've seen nothing but Gaethje's name because they believe Gaethje can get the job done. And that's pretty crazy to believe that he's been in the talks since 2018.
Right.
So I think Gaethje is that special. Now here are the odds for you. Well, it says here Gaethje, Tony is a minus 170 favorite and Gaethje is a plus 145.
It's not bad actually. Okay, so the minus 175 plus 125, you said?
145.
145. All right, they're a little bit better than I thought. I think people are probably seeing it my way. So the money's surprisingly balanced in my opinion.
It's balanced. It's a nice
I
balance.
like it still obviously favors Tony,
Yeah.
but man, I thought it would have been a little bit more dramatic in terms
No.
of separation.
Well, you
But
know what it is.
that means they believe in Gaethje, I think. So that's good.
No, I think that's fair. Something I've been looking at it because even though I say Gaethje is younger, I mean if you look at the age difference in Gaethje versus Ferguson's what 35. I think he was 35. I don't know. I don't know Tony's exact age, but there's a
Yeah, he's up there.
no 36. So he's 5 years
Yeah.
older.
Oh, yeah.
So he's 5 years older than Gaethje. So that's why I give the age side more to Gaethje because Gaethje can do more of the athletic stuff. Now Ferguson, again, like I said, Ferguson is creative. He's like that. He can do whatever he can do in the ring. Why did I say ring? But at the end of the day, at least we have a fight and at least we have something going. While I'm not the most favorite for this interim lightweight championship, because obviously this is a Dana White move,
Right.
I kind of want to blame Tony a little bit because Tony said in his interview, but obviously I'm not going to hold him to it because that's not fair. But he said in the interview with Ariel that he was not going to sign anything until they found a location. And I just find it weird that you still sign on, even with the interim, but yet you say if there's no location, you weren't going to sign anything until there was a secure location. Now, maybe there is a secure location. They're not going to announce it. So maybe that's the case. But I just
do
wanna
they have
throw that
to
out.
like how much does the location really matter to anybody who's not going to be there? Like it's just like a good to know, like you want to know, okay, where are they going to be holding this event? All right, cool. I'm going to be watching on TV anyways,
I think the only reason why I say that is because most people don't believe that this card was going to happen. There was a lot of doubt. So I think by him giving like an idea of the location, it would have eased the mind and people would be like, okay, it really is on. Because some people right now, even in the comments of these tweets, some people are still having doubt. They're like, oh yeah, so you say this fight's going to happen, but I still don't know the location. So until you tell me the location, I don't believe this fight's happening.
Send me location.
Exactly. Send location. But anyway, that's our roundup of Tony versus Gaethje. I'll update you guys. We'll update you when the fight gets closer to see what other matches are announced. Hopefully the card builds. Do you think they'll do prelims and early prelims? I say no because of just how limited, because of the resource that they have. I think they're probably just going to do a main card at 10 o'clock at night, have 5 fights, 2 fighters, 10 people max. I think that's what they're going to do. But again, I don't know.
If you want to call it a main card, give it 3 fights, and if you want to do a prelim, give it 2 fights. So some arrangement of 5 fights. You know what I'm saying?
That's where it has to be. 5 fights. Now, that's it for the episode, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. So to any MMA fans that watch this on replay, comment your thoughts down below. What do you think of this matchup? Who do you think will win the outcome or predict? And I want to ask you, if Gaethje wins, how does this shape the lightweight division going forward? Comment your thoughts down below, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been Outside the Cage. Gaethje versus Ferguson, April 18th on Saturday, UFC 249. You're not going to want to miss it. Take care, everybody, and peace.